Welcome back to the deep dive. So, today our mission is to analyze what seems like a really surprising path to, well, extreme financial success.
Yeah, it's quite a story. We're looking at a 13-year journey where someone claims that one single act of subtraction was the main driver.
Right. Quitting alcohol.
Mm.
And that this somehow catalyzed building massive wealth, several multi-million-dollar company.
Exactly. And what's fascinating, like you said, is it challenges that whole modern idea about growth strategies, always adding something new.
Yeah, everyone thinks, okay, new course, new hustle, new strategy. That's the way to wealth.
But this perspective suggests maybe the biggest accelerator is just removing the stuff that's holding you back, the self-sabotage.
So, wealth creation as a subtraction problem. Interesting framing.
It really is.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit, because the results claimed here are, frankly, staggering. We're talking 4,700 days ago, 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
And this one decision supposedly led to building businesses doing over $100 million in annual revenue, financial freedom, mentoring thousands.
It sounds almost unbelievable, doesn't it? And the initial goal was apparently much simpler.
Just breaking a cycle of addiction for his family, yeah. But okay, the critical question we have to ask is the claim that only quitting drinking did this?
Well, no, not exactly. It seems more like it created the necessary space.
Ah, okay, so pre-existing business sense maybe, but it was being blocked.
Precisely. The ambition started personal, recovery, but that structural change, that subtraction, it seems it unleashed the capacity needed for that scale.
Right, you can't really scale a $100 million operation if your own foundation is shaky. Makes sense.
Exactly. So we're looking at 4 pillars that kind of illustrate how this one change rebuilt that foundation.
Okay, let's start with the first one, lesson 1. Seems the most immediate, tangible thing. Instant energy boost and productivity gains.
Yeah, energy, it sounds basic, but in high-level business.
It's everything, right? Why is it so critical?
Well, think about trust, presence. If you walk into a huge meeting, maybe hiring top people or closing a big deal, and you look exhausted, distracted. The source even mentions, like, bloodshot eyes.
Oof, yeah. Not a good look.
Right. It immediately signals you might not be capable of managing your own stuff, let alone their investment or career. Low energy just kills perceived capability.
And the source puts some math behind this energy gain, which is pretty compelling.
Yeah, the claim is just by cutting out hangovers and that sort of mental fog.
You gain at least 2 extra productive hours every single day.
Every single day. And you compound that.
Okay, let's not do the step-by-step math, but over 13 years, that's, what, 9,000 extra hours?
9,000 extra productive hours, yeah. Bane back.
Wow, that's like almost 5 years of full-time work.
Exactly. Focused, revenue-generating activity recovered. And these hours weren't just frittered away.
No, the source calls them revenue activities, learning skills, building relationships, creating content.
Starting new companies. Crucially.
And I think what often gets missed there is not just the quantity of time, but the quality. It's removing the mental drag, too, right?
Absolutely. That's huge. It's getting rid of the anxiety, the guilt, maybe the shame cycles. That constant mental energy spent managing the vice.
Right, planning the next drink, recovering from the last one.
All that mental bandwidth is suddenly free. Free to focus on actual strategy, actual execution.
That shift in qualitative energy. That must be what enables the next pillar.
It leads right into it. Lesson 2, decision-making clarity. Avoiding what the source calls rushing roulette.
Rushing roulette, I like that term. So this is where that extra energy and time get put to good use, but with a clear head.
Exactly, because making decisions when your brain is, let's say, compromised, it's literally gambling with your business.
Yeah, the rushing roulette idea implies impulsive choices may be driven by guilt or trying to catch up.
Right, you lack consistency. And we know in business, consistency is how you turn effort into reliable results, into profit.
There was an interesting point in the source about communication skills here, too. Something about a coach stressing pulling vocabulary. What does that actually mean in practice?
It means having the right words, the precise words, instantly available under pressure. Yeah. So if you're negotiating, teaching, giving a speech, you need that perfect analogy, that exact word right now.
And if your mind is foggy,
you can't pull it. Your clarity is shot, and so is your influence, instantly diminished.
And we know, especially at the highest levels, success isn't about just being busy. It's about the quality of a few key decisions.
Absolutely. You hear about people like Jeff Bezos, right? Reportedly focusing on just one or two really big, meaningful decisions a day.
Yeah.
If you show up mentally compromised, you just don't have the capacity for those kinds of future-shaping choices. You're wasting your best resource, that mental clarity.
The source material really hammers this home with a story from 2005. High stakes.
Ah, yeah, the Yale University incident. He was running Spheric Technologies, working on a massive deal,
Went out, sick all night, and then what?
and then nearly threw the entire opportunity away. He was supposed to show up for his team the next day, a critical meeting.
And he just couldn't.
Yep.
Physically, mentally unable.
Right. And he had to admit later that skipping that appearance, being a no-show essentially, almost cost the company that huge deal.
Wow. That must have been a wake-up call.
Huge. The realization that it wasn't just about his ability to function, it directly impacted his team, their careers, their stability.
So self-sabotage becomes professional sabotage.
Exactly. And that near miss, that realization, it forced a permanent change, which is a great bridge, actually, to lesson 3.
Network upgrades.
Yeah.
Okay, so you shift your energy, your clarity, your operating hours, and your old peer group changes.
It has to, right? The old saying, your network is your net worth. But maybe only if that network is actually aligned with growth.
So the old network, described as meeting people at 1 a.m. in bars.
Yeah, inherently self-limiting. If the foundation of your connections is a shared vice, how deep or reliable are those relationships really, especially for business?
Makes sense. So the new network, what's different?
Well, the source describes them as people who often don't drink, they work out early, they prioritize being present.
And crucially, do deals faster.
Yeah, they get that health is wealth. They're playing the long game, investing in themselves, body and mind.
And they shift from complaining to solving problems.
Exactly. Less late night, maybe alcohol-fueled complaining sessions, more action-oriented thinking. You just naturally rise faster when you're around that kind of energy, those long-term thinkers.
I thought the example of the 11 a.m. Sunday morning EDM dance parties at coffee shops was fascinating.
Right. It shows people still want connection, fun, energy.
But they refuse to sacrifice Monday morning's productivity for it.
Huh.
They want engagement on their terms.
It comes back to being present for opportunities. The source mentioned his mother-in-law's advice.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing good happens after 11 p.m. Simple, but probably true for big career moves.
Oh, maybe so. Being present means you don't miss those unexpected conversations.
Exactly. Like, imagine you were sitting next to that potential investor on a plane. If you're hungover, headphones on, just trying to survive.
You miss it. The opportunity's gone.
Gone. The biggest accelerations can come from being fully switched on in those random moments. And that needs constant clarity.
Okay, so we got energy, clarity, network. Lesson 4 feels like the deepest one. The complete life system upgrade. An identity shift.
This is where it gets really profound, yeah. It's about rewiring your whole approach.
How so?
Well, that continuous commitment, saying no to the immediate desire for a drink day after day, it trains the muscle of delayed gratification like almost nothing else.
Okay, so your focus shifts.
Massively, from thinking just for the weekend to thinking for the decade, or even longer.
The source mentions developing a 55-year business plan. That's quite a shift in time horizon.
Right. It changes you from being just a consumer, seeking that quick pleasure, maybe in a numbed-out state.
To becoming a creator of your life?
Yeah.
But what's the direct link between, say, staying sober and building complex financial structures?
It's the discipline. It's functionally the same mental muscle. Saying no to the drink is the same muscle as saying no to an impulsive buy or committing capital to a long-term, maybe illiquid investment.
So sobriety reframes success itself as subtraction.
Pretty much. Success becomes about saying no to almost everything that doesn't align with that long-term vision, that 55-year plan.
That kind of consistency, that long view, that must build serious confidence.
It does, and the source defines confidence in an interesting way, not bravado.
But as keeping the commitments that I made to myself in private.
Exactly. And sticking to sobriety might be one of the hardest private commitments there is. Every day you keep it, you build this incredible internal momentum.
Which then allows you to handle bigger challenges. The source says living a big life means having big problems.
Yeah, like having, quote, $10 million problems if you're still numbing out or self-medicating with a vice.
You just don't have the clarity or the discipline muscle to deal with problems of that scale.
Exactly. So the core discovery, bringing it all together, is that the potential was likely always there.
but it was being held back,
Right.
muted by the cycle of distraction and recovery.
And that single act of subtraction just created the clear, consistent space needed for that potential to finally build momentum.
It's really an incredible analysis of transformation. We've gone through how removing one thing, this constant self-sabotage, delivered, 9,000 hours of energy,
Achieve decision-making clarity
completely upgraded the network.
and fundamentally rewrote identity and time horizon.
And the results speak for themselves. Peak physical condition,
Yeah.
massive businesses, mentoring thousands, speaking on huge stages.
Yeah, the impact seems undeniable. And for you, the listener, I think the central takeaway is really powerful.
It is.
That often the most effective thing you can do to accelerate your wealth, your health, your career, it isn't adding more complexity.
It's strategic subtraction.
You're subtracting the things that are keeping you small, keeping you distracted.
Okay, so here's a final provocative thought for you to take away. And this comes directly from the source material we looked at.
Hmm.
I believe the world will show you where you're not free. So if you're looking for that next big leap in success, maybe ask yourself, what is the vice, the distraction, the habit that the world is showing you right now is holding back your true potential?
That's a subtraction problem to figure out.
That's the one to solve this week.